Hey everyone, this is Heather Havenwood, and this is a long overdue video. I promised you at the end of my class, my comedy class, I would kind of give you an overview. It's not over yet. Tomorrow night I'm actually doing my debut, my 5 minutes of fame in the spotlight. But I wanted to kind of give you some interesting things that just happened. I was at TEDx Austin, the very first one in Austin that's happening today, and I was there supporting a girlfriend of mine, Janet, and she's there talking about how women, and men too, but more women than men, apologize. We automatically apologize. Like, you go into the grocery store, you actually touch somebody, we automatically say we're sorry. Or last night I was at a coffee shop and I'm moving something and then I just automatically say I'm sorry. Like, there's an automatic as apologizing for who we are and what we do and everything, versus like excuse me, which is polite, versus and I'm sorry. It's like, stop apologizing. And I started to realize something, that in this comedy class, it's like I go there every week for 6 weeks, and it's almost like I'm apologizing to myself and everybody else for not being funny, or for not doing it right, or for like being what I look like. Believe it or not, blonde, big boobed, multi-author people. It's almost like I'm walking around apologizing for being myself, even though this is what I want. This is what I've always wanted to do, is speak and travel the country and help people make a difference. But it's like when people get intimidated by me, which I could feel that, instead of just like really honoring where they're at, I like apologize. It's really strange. So going back to comedy, tomorrow night I'm doing this my 5 minutes of fame, my graduation from the comedy. And what I've realized is a couple things with this comedy class I'm dealing with, and I'm actually going to submit myself to do a TED Talk about this. Number one, fear of rejection. I've talked a little bit about this in other videos, but it is so huge for me that in the 2-week time period, last 2 weeks, I've actually been seeking out rejection. What I mean by that is anytime where I feel myself pulling back from either asking for something or suggesting something, I don't know, whatever it is, it's like in that moment, I'm like, oh, I'm fear of they're going to reject me, or afraid of what they're going to say to me. So I double down. I actually go and say it and do it. I've been sharing my feelings of who I am and what I want, completely out of fear that people are not going to accept me. Are they going to reject me? But what's happened on the flip side of that? Like, I've been actually looking for, where can I go get rejected? Where do I feel myself pulling away? And I'm like, wonder why I do that. Well, it's afraid they're not going to say yes. Or I'm noticing where other people are saying, don't do that. They're not going to say yes to you. It's almost like people are trying to protect each other from being rejected. And I really realized how much this pulls us all back, including myself. And through this comedy class, I'm learning that comedy, there's techniques and strategies about it, but comedy is really about the connection with the other humans in the audience, and their imperfections. That's what makes it funny, because all of our other content out there, coaching and consulting, what I do, and teaching people how to do whatever, buy and sell real estate, how to build a business, how to be perfect, it's always in this focus of being better, or where you're at now is not okay, so you've got to get better. It's always in like living what I call in the gap. And that's great, because I do actually believe in understanding that when you live in the gap, you're always stretching yourself. However, I think that why we're all so, at least me, magnetized towards comedy is because these comedians, it's like they like own all their flaws. And they're like, I'm completely okay with all my flaws. And then we all get to actually laugh at their flaws because we probably see that flaw in ourselves. And once I started to realize that, and really kind of accept my own flaws, which I have a ton of them, and accept everyone that I was in my little group that were, like my classmates, accepting their flaws, it's almost like I got really freed up. It's been really cool. So I'm actually going to submit, unless I want to submit to a TED Talk, hopefully soon. I'm not sure which one, about this fear of rejection and how looking for rejection actually frees you up. which is completely counterintuitive what we're taught, what we're told, right? It's kindergarten. I always think of this. Kindergarten, first aid, kindergarten, first grade, Miss Butler, first grade, you know, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. Raise your hand for permission. Be perfect, little girl. Always apologize if you hurt someone's feelings. It's this kind of like cage kind of feeling experience, especially for me as a girl growing up in the Southern world. It was very much be a good little girl, be nice, be sweet, apologize. And people who know me are like, what happened to that girl? Anyway, I think that part of the process that I'm learning as an entrepreneur and really stepping out and doing everything that I'm doing is learning to be not okay with rejection. No. Actually seek it out. And when you seek out rejection from other people and you kind of like let it in, what happens is you're like, I'm being rejected. Oh, that feels really bad. Then what happens is you actually get, oh, I'm okay. I'm breathing. Everything's fine. Life is good. Oh, that wasn't so bad. And you do it again. You do it again. And then what happens is rejection doesn't even what I call stick on you anymore. It just kind of like falls away like water. So that's my lesson today and about comedy. And I'm doing it tomorrow night. So if you might see this and it's past tomorrow night, maybe I have another video. But I promised a video at the end of my comedy class, which ended 2 days ago, about what I've learned being in 6 weeks class about stand-up comedy. And this is what I've learned about the art of truly accepting our flaws. Then understanding that you can share your flaws, and that's the human connection piece that's funny. And the next third thing is that rejection. How we all have a fear of rejection, and then we can overcome that, move towards it. Then everything opens up. Hope this helps. Comment below if you like it. If you don't, that's cool too. Bye.